Welcome to The American Spectacle, a podcast dedicated to the art of American dance, exploring the past, present, and future of dance, and discussing ways to re-engage communities, young people, in the most American of all arts, dance.
Before we begin, what if one drink could carry the weight of a lifetime? The Dressing Drink, a memoir by Thomas King Flagg, peels back the layers of an orphan's legacy, blending beauty, heartbreak, and hard truths into one unforgettable story. The Dressing Drink, available now wherever books are sold.
I'm Tom Flagg, host of The American Spectacle. I am a longtime arts supporter and arts advocate, the art of dance. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to extraordinary and exceptional individuals. One of the most extraordinary is my friend Bill Shipley. I know you'll enjoy meeting him. Hi. Hello, Bill. I'm happy that we've been able to gather exceptional and extraordinary people from my life. This whole enterprise started from my inspiration of the book that I've just written, The Dressing Drink, of my mother and my father, one in radio, one on Broadway, and all the people that I've gathered in my life. You've been one of the most exceptional and extraordinary people. Your support and friendship over the years has meant the world to me, and particularly in the work we've done in positive energy. But could you talk a little bit about yourself? I think one of the things I always find remarkable is how you balance your life, because you got a lot going on. So we know each other from
Suffield Academy, and I went there as a junior. You were already entrenched at Suffield at that time.
Yeah.
And so we're talking 52 years ago, something like that. And I will say that I know you, Tom, as a competitor. I know your heart, your spirit, and I believe in you. So that's sustained itself through the years in our relationship. And myself, I'm a fourth generation business leader in the energy procurement and distribution business in central Pennsylvania, the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast. And I've lived in most of my life in York, Pennsylvania, and it's also fourth generation family in York. And in a town like York, that means we're not really new here, but we're not really old either. We're somewhere in the middle. We have my wife and I, Michelle, have our 40th wedding anniversary coming up in January, and our three kids are all in their 30s and doing well, and we have 6 grandkids.
6.
Basically run all over the country chasing after them.
Yeah. Well, but above and beyond that, I think the thing that's outstanding in what you do is supporting the community, is, identifying how you can help. And I always love what you say about making it a better place.
Yeah, the products, there's a selfish interest here. The products that we sell are things that everybody uses. Everybody in a house, an apartment, everybody in a business, in any building. You need electricity. You need heat. You need, it's not the most exciting thing to buy, but everybody needs it. Mm-hmm. So these are our customers, and these are people that, where we do business, and we want our customers, selfishly, we want them to have a great deal, but we also want them to pay us and have this, the financial wherewithal to keep the cycle going. They pay us, we buy more, we sell more, they pay us, that thing. So how strong our economy is, how strong our communities is a direct impact on our business.
Right. But, there are a lot of people that are in business, big business, really big business, that don't think in terms of generosity of spirit, in touching the people who are least served, and therein Positive Energy Arts Foundation, which you and I have put together over the years. We've affected over 100,000 kids over an 11-year period. I think changed quite a few lives, certainly changed perspective on what it is, but we bring dance into some of the least served populations in York and in Harrisburg. What do you think about our product? Have you seen, do you feel a positive influence on that?
Well, yes, I think, first of all, the pattern in Pennsylvania, I don't think it's just in Pennsylvania, but we know we're more active in Pennsylvania, that as school funding became scarce, the districts that got the least were pretty much the ones that need it the most, the inner city schools. And the first thing they cut when they got less funding was arts education, which has always struck me as a sort of, cutting off your nose to spite your face type move.
Counterintuitive.
But there's a definite pattern there. And I think in some respect, I mean, that's arts have been out of these inner city schools for a generation now. And sports are also, on the block, next in line, and some in, some out. But that it really changes the whole experience of learning if you're not going to have the physical activity and the all the elements that the arts bring to education as part of the learning process. And that was really the biggest miss, or the biggest gap that we were trying to fill with Positive Energy, or have been, I think, as you say, filling and making some difference in.
Well, I think the other thing I see, excuse me, especially spending time in Europe, is growing up, every child sings, every child dances. There's a sense of spirit. There's a sense of joy that's integrated into the spirit that we are endowed with. And in my perfect world, that spirit would be energized throughout life. And going back again to what I grew up with, I was inspired by, Fred Astaire, the ballet, George Balanchine, this incredible thing that seemed to culminate in the 70s. But I see it now being eradicated. I mean, it looks even systemized in the eradication. And, you're, as a grandfather, you see your kids living and being happy and coming up, but this is not the case, especially with technology. It's deadening those issues. So, what do you see in the passion of children that I know that you have an affinity for, and sports?
Well, I think using Positive Energy as an example, the thing that is really energizing for me is to see even just one kid, one student impacted, energized, excited about dance, and to see them. And by the way, it's way more than one, but it only really takes that makes a difference if just one kid is affected in a positive way by the opportunity to learn a little bit and participate a little bit in dance. Um, the that to me is, and I'll say it one other way: if a child hears applause for something that they've done and for a performance, that's an experience they can take forward for the rest of their life and use, and it's a confidence builder. And they may not be a dancer for the rest of their life, but they know they can get applause. They know they can do something that will be recognized as worthwhile by others, and that's pretty important.
Well, this is something we share because we were so fortunate as young men to have had a very high standard endowed into us of success wrestling in a small school in Connecticut, that I think set that bar for us emotionally, psychologically, and physically to be in good shape. That's waning. That's waning. But you also also do this with your team, the York Revolution. I know you affect a lot of kids that way. Could you speak to that a little?
Yeah, well, there's so many things that are part of minor league baseball that are fun and exciting to be around. I mean, it is an event space for the community. It's a place where we can get 6,000 or 8,000 people together, or one or two, and have fun and do things, interesting things. It's also the business of minor league baseball. We're an independent league. We're in the Atlantic League. We basically exist, and by the way, every day we put a team on the field to win. We put our best team out there. We're not purely a developmental league, but we exist to help our players get noticed and go forward with major league organizations. And I mean, this year so far, of our 26 roster spots, we have 6 of them that have been picked up by major league organizations, which is pretty neat. I mean, that's why we're there.
Wow. But you also do a lot for young players, and I know the stadium gets used for youth organizations and that sort of thing, which is the same impetus for what we do with Positive Energy, but it's getting kids for the applause, the self-awareness, confidence, all of those building blocks. Teamwork. All of those building blocks seem to have been displaced recently. They're in different compartmentalizations often because of technology. So showing up, being in athletics or in dance or in music is such an important part. But this is the part that always gets me, how do you juggle all these things and keep yourself sane?
Well, I think that's maybe a matter of opinion. I enjoy it. I guess that's the best way to put it. I mean, I probably would not be satisfied with just one ball in the air or one thing going on. There needs to be a little more happening for me to be energized each day. So I think my best answer is it feels natural. It feels right for me.
And maybe you talk to Elon Musk about your own personal charging station too. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how you do it. And what about Penn State? How are you working with Penn State these days?
Well, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of the president of Penn State, Neely Bendapudi. I was on the board for 7 years up until about a year ago. So I overlapped with Neely for a year. And I just think, she's a remarkable leader. And it's an amazing institution, and it deserves and has a remarkable leader. So I'm optimistic that Penn State has a lot of good things now and in the future.
And they have a pretty good wrestling team too.
They do. Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So the issue that I have, and I just commend you for, is your support not only financially but emotionally and professionally for a lot of things in life that we see that aren't able to go over the hump, get over the hump. But you're amazing inspiration for so many things: baseball, wrestling, dance, schools, your family, all of those things you've had such consistency in doing. And it just amazes me because I live a pretty solitary single life, just hoping to get to the next day. But Bill is going, babe. He's a juggernaut. He's a juggernaut. So I wonder, sometimes we look at the American diaspora and people are not inclined to be their best selves anymore. That's what I see. I think technology, again, has interrupted what I consider an organic flow. But your consistency, I mean, you don't have to do all the things you do, but as you say, you do them because you enjoy them. So there must be a cycle, a return.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I would say not so integrated, and maybe the one you left out is our business, which is also about helping people become their best selves. And, most family businesses like ours share the sort of, I mean, okay, it's kind of a family environment. I don't want to get too soapy about it because, but we're all trying to help each other. We're all trying to make, or we feel like the organization exists to help the people and their families to have financial success and also do well. And funny, it's all a little bit too like the minor league baseball team player analogy, that we also want them to go wherever's the best place for them. I think that might be this generation version of a family business that maybe my grandfather gave a lot of credence to people that worked there 40 years, or that was the goal, and that's not so much the goal anymore. But a lot of the same spirit is still there in the family businesses that, frankly, there's less and less of them. But the ones that are around, that's why we're there. We're there to make money, but we're there also to help everybody that's involved in the enterprise.
Well, I see that in you. I see on many occasions that you, including myself, you help people, you build a foundation underneath them, and then you go, good luck, good job, wishing you all the best, and they move on and they move forward. Nobody I know does that, Bill. You're the only guy that does that.
Well, I don't know about that, but I get what you're saying, that it's hard. It's hard to start a business. It's hard to stay in business today unless you're, a multi-billion-dollar organization. And I don't know, maybe that's hard too. I'll bet it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just, I guess it gives me a lot of faith in humanity and faith in everything we do. So, you know me, so I'm now starting a dance-driven arts initiative here in Melbourne, Florida. And that's sort of from scratch, but we've started to put all the pieces together and we're starting to build something. What do you do in your spare time? Manifest the impossible. This seems like a good vocation. So we're trying to do that, but without knowing that there are people in the world like you, I'd really think I was out of my mind, but you have supported things that are extremely, well, they're out of the norm, they're out of the loop, but they're integral for people's spirit, soul, and their ability to be the best they can be. And that means emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically. That's quite a group. right? And I
Yeah.
see a lot of people in the world that are now falling by the wayside, and they're, not to get into a political conversation, but there's a lot of darkness. There are a lot of things grabbing people now, and decimating people that didn't happen 5, 10, 15 years ago. I mean, it was a big deal those days just to be able to sing and dance. And there was no $1 billion paycheck at the end of that. There was, I do it because I am compelled to do it. I must do it. And I see that in a lot of the things you do, where you give people's spirit and soul a chance to evolve and develop and become the best they can be, which is a lot.
Yeah, and I am also inspired by your energy, Tom, and the pushing to make things better and more. It occurs to me another analogy, another inspiration that you might not think of is a minor league baseball team ownership group that includes Mike Veck and Bill Murray. You remember Bill Murray from
Sure.
Saturday Night
Of course.
They have bought, operated, and sold, and continue to do that, minor league baseball teams. And their theme, they have hats, and what they bring to town. Their theme is "Fun is Good," and they just drive that and bring it to the ballpark or the stadium, whatever town they're in, and make it into a fun place. And I think that's part of what positive energy is all about. Is, let's have some fun. Let's get up and move, and let's do some things other than sit there and listen or pretend like we're listening or whatever.
Right.
That changes the education environment.
There you go. So I think that's a great place to pull it together. If nothing else in life, we provide a little fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
you talk about things that are disappearing. We can't let that go.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we're doing our best to do that, and we shall continue to do so. I can't thank you enough for your time and your generosity of spirit. Thank you for all you do, Billy.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Same.
God bless.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please join us for upcoming podcasts, where we'll speak to some of the most consequential voices in the dance world. For more information, you can go to my website, thomaskflagg.com. In addition, you can find me on all social media platforms. If you want to learn more about me and my unique journey, please check out my book, The Dressing Drink. It chronicles my early life and efforts to better understand my parents, both entertainers in their own right. I'm Thomas Flagg, and thank you for joining us today.